Well, good morning, good day. I am back here at Pacific View Memorial Park in front of Magnolia Court, and we are going to discuss a very important person in circus history. Her name is Frieda Pushnik, also known as the armless, legless girl wonder. So take a walk with me and let's go. All right, Frieda was born February 10th, 1923 in Conemaugh, Pennsylvania. She was a touring attraction for Ripley's Believe It or Not, and later for Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus, which I understand went out of business just a few years ago, finally. She died on Christmas Eve, 2000, battling bladder cancer. A very interesting life because she spent her entire life without any arms and without any legs. According to her brother, William Pushnik, she died peacefully at her Costa Mesa home after battling bladder cancer. At the age of 9, she became a member of Robert Ripley's Curiosities. That is to say, living curiosities. But she always said that despite her handicap, she could lead a normal life. She recalled her mother would carry her to class in the morning and her brother and sister would carry her home in the evening. She said that she could do virtually anything a normal person could do. She could feed herself, she could apply her own makeup, she could write, she could operate a typewriter, she could use scissors, sew, crochet, embroider, and many other things. This is what she claimed. She used to hold a pen between her chin and her shoulder and sign autographs for fans who would come and see her at the circus. Born on February 10th, 1923 in Conemaugh, Pennsylvania, her lack of limbs was the result of surgical complications that happened when her mother was being operated on for appendicitis. Apparently the doctor really screwed up, and this is the story. But nevertheless, she grew up happily. In 1933, Robert Ripley was doing, believe it or not, drawings. He learned of Frieda Pushnik. He drew a cartoon of her. And then he offered her a job at his first show at the 1933 World's Fair in Chicago. She took it. Keep in mind, 1933 was during the Great Depression. And of course, any offer of employment the family took. She turned out to be a very big attraction. She was well known, she was well photographed, she made major appearances, not just little county fairs, but she made major appearances. And she later hooked on with Barnum and Bailey, which I understand went out of business not very long ago. She used to sign autographs by holding a pen between her chin and her shoulder. And they were not sloppy autographs, they were very, very clear. In her own words, she stated that she enjoyed the circus life. She didn't feel exploited. In fact, her mother joined the circus working in the office, and it's said that her sister also joined the circus as an acrobat. This is her crypt right here. She's buried with her mother. Anastasia was her mother. They settled in Costa Mesa because a few years later, the circus closed its sideshow tent in 1956 due to people that had human rights issues, and a bit of woke culture existed even back then, which was perhaps unfortunate for Frieda and her family. But they were able to live in spite of the loss of income. She remained in the house in Costa Mesa. She had an assistant. And as I said, she died in 2000 at the age of 77. Apparently a very well-adjusted individual, a very talented individual. She didn't feel at all restricted or disabled or incapacitated. She certainly needed help getting around, of course, but she was a person, just like anyone. My family and I were recently discussing a relative of mine. I will call him Jimmy. And Jimmy's been struggling with emotional issues and whatnot like that. And he probably feels, shall I say, a bit handicapped. But you know, if Jimmy was here right now, I would say to him, Jimmy, you think you got problems? Look at Frieda. Look at what Frieda had to overcome. And she made it through. Which to me is proof that God put an amazing, remarkable resilience within the human spirit. That in spite of whatever challenges we face, with God's help, we can do all things. So rest in peace, Frieda. And I hope others in this unfortunately woke culture follow your example of positivity.